Okay, so the class is all on the floor this morning. You'll need your 2 bricks, a couple of cushions maybe to pad you at the end, might be helpful. And we're starting in Sukhasana, cross-legged. So good morning everybody that's not here this morning that does this on recordings. I know quite a few of you just do the recordings, which is great. We still feel you're part of the community, so please never feel that you're left out. You're always part of our group. So we've done the chakras this week. We've done the chakras. We've gone through very briefly. It's a massive subject, the chakras. It doesn't always resonate with you the first 2 or 3 times that you are told about these things. Kind of just depends on whether you're open and available to that sort of idea, but it's not something that you can touch and feel necessarily straight away. I think what I do is I just relate it to feelings in that part of the body. I know, for instance, we're doing throat chakra today. I know sometimes words get stuck in my throat when I'm in the wrong sort of energy, or in the energy in the room is wrong. I very unusually can't speak, or my tone becomes aggressive, or I become reticent. There's a change in the energy, in my throat energy. It might have come from your mind, you might think, but it basically, the energy can't get through your throat when you try to speak. Sometimes it's all about listening. The Vishudda chakra, the throat chakra, is also your ears. So sometimes it's about the fact that your ears are blocked essentially to what other people are saying. So to keep that energy open is the idea on all the channel and all the energy centers rather. So this morning we're doing the Vishudda throat chakra and the Anja third eye, which we all work a little bit with as a pressure point really when we've been working through our classes. Again, it's a rather ethereal sort of energy center. Between the third eye and the crown, it becomes much more spiritual, so much more difficult to resonate with possibly. But anyway, we're going to try and physically reach those areas this morning. So we're going to begin with our B breath. Now, B breath you're supposed to do, and I didn't do it the last time because I said you couldn't hear me. So B breath, you are supposed to place your thumbs just gently on your ears, and then close your eyes off with your ring finger and settle your other fingers around. So before you do that, and you can hear what I'm saying, I'm going to close off ears and eyes so that we're actually focusing really on our throat chakra here, not in our third eye. We're thinking about this space here, and that's where the energy center is with the sky blue light in it. So all I'm going to ask you to do is count 5 breaths or so, let's say 8 breaths, and make the bee humming sound, particularly on the exhale. We're breathing in through our nose and out through our nose. And the nose is obviously open. You can't touch your mouth with your lips if you want to close them off, but they'll be closed anyway. So when you're ready, if we all begin now on our bee breath, close off ears and eyes and take 8 breaths if you count yourself, and then we'll all stop together that way. And I won't be talking in between. I did about 6 or 7 there. Hopefully everybody's just about finishing, depending on the length of your breath. So let go of the finger holds, pop your hands back to your knees if you can hear me hopefully now. Keep the eyes closed and just feel that resonance in the channels around your face and into your throat that you can get from that vibration that we've just used. So bee breath is really good for moving sinuses, all the clogging up that goes on when you've had a cold or COVID or something. So bee breath is the one to use then. It really works on our vagal nerve down here, which is a really important nerve to work on. The vagus nerve basically touches every one of your organs as it goes down through your body, and it connects them to your brain. And so it's a very calming, very parasympathetic nervous system side of things with vagal nerve. And so that moves the energy gently through the whole of your body. So we're thinking about a throat here and about speaking calmly, clearly, truthfully. Truth is a very big part of this as well. So that's the sort of thing we want to balance here. Okay, so let's just start moving. We're going to start with head turns just from right to left. So first of all, before you do, find your root chakra, find the base of your torso, find your sit bones, and rebound out of them and lift a little bit out of your pelvis. Imagine that space opening up along your spine, we'll call them now, as you lift up through to your crown. And then once you've got that length, particularly in your neck, tuck your chin just slightly backwards and slightly downwards. And then when you've got a nice long back of neck, breathe in and exhale and turn your head gently to the right. Now try not to move your neck other than just turning it on the base, on the top of your spine. Inhale back to the front, exhale there. Inhale again, tall. Find that space in the back of the neck, up through the back of the skull. Exhale, rotate to your left next time. I'm doing this with eyes closed. So I'm really just focusing on the throat at the moment. So take 2 more, really focusing on the throat area. Inhaling tall before you turn and trying to just rotate from the top of the spine. Maybe you can visualize a blue light in the throat as you move, but really focus on the throat. With your eyes closed, it's much easier to focus on that. Your eyes open, we're going to look at everything else. One more to the left. And then open your eyes and find that connection visually with everything. And take 2 to the right and 2 to the left in your own time again. This time much more difficult to focus on eyes, on throat and ears. And your eyes want to go ahead of your throat and your neck and everything else. So let your eyes just go where they want to. Let them move, let them lead. So our eyes are part of, probably more part of your Anja Chakra, which is the wisdom thing. And to get wisdom, you need to have your eyes open, metaphorically as well. You can't go around with your eyes closed and be full of wisdom. So we need to really think about things, to look at things, not necessarily to judge, but be open to listening. So these two are really joined together. Stop once you've done that. We're going to put our take our side bends now. So let's take them first of all with eyes closed, and we're going to take one side bend to the right, come back up to the top, and then take a side bend and a roll and face up towards the top corner. So we're opening our throat then. So really focus on the throat this time with eyes closed. So inhale, left arm up. Exhale, side bend, armpit to hip, eyes are closed. Feel your throat moving here. So we're moving the energy in it as we move the body. Inhale back up to the top, exhale at the top. Inhale, lift up through the spine, exhale, side bend. On your next inhale, we're rolling open that top shoulder and eyes closed, but looking up towards that top corner, opening the throat. Exhale back to the front. Take one more roll and hold for 2 breaths. Inhale, roll, open again, eyes still closed. Moving up towards that top corner, breathing here. So as you move energy. We know that through the body. If you stay still, you stagnate, the energy stagnates. So we need to keep moving to keep our bodies fresh, open, balanced, healthy. Okay, so we're just going to take one more to that side, but open your eyes now once you're back up at the top. So sometimes it's hard in yoga for me to open my eyes actually. So keep your eyes open if you can this time. Left arm comes up on the inhale, exhale, side bend. And then we're going to roll and open on the next inhale and hold here for 2 breaths. With the eyes as open as you can get them without it being uncomfortable. Really looking at that top corner, noticing all the cobwebs and the dirt on the roof. And then roll forward and inhale back up to the top. So essentially what happens with your eyes open is your attention gets taken off of you and your body and you start looking at other things. But that's gaining wisdom and gaining knowledge, isn't it? So inhale the right arm up, same thing, eyes closed, first couple. Exhale over. Keep that tummy engaged, remember, it's part of the movement. Inhale back up to the top, feel extended. Exhale at the top, arms still up. Inhale, raise up through the shoulders, lift up, out the pelvis. Exhale, soften over to the left. Going to rotate that top shoulder this time. Inhale, roll, open the right shoulder, look up with your eyes closed towards that top corner. So essentially a twist, hold and breathe here. Feel that openness on the throat, but you can probably feel it moving down through your body, this movement. You can feel it in the back of your shoulders, you can feel it in your tummy area possibly, maybe in your hand that's on the floor. There's energy moving all around you here to accommodate this movement. Inhale, back round to the front. Exhale there, inhale back up to the top, and exhale the arm down. Take one more of those just with 2 breaths at the top, with your eyes open this time. Inhale, arm up, eyes open. Exhale, side bend. Stay here, inhale and roll, open the top shoulder, look at the top corner. Eyes really open them to stare at that top corner. Find a focal point as you breathe. Inhale, exhale still, nice and long breaths. Make it nice and smooth. We're still working with that vagus nerve with the breath. It moves it too. Then inhale, roll back forward, eyes still open. Exhale there. Inhale, back up to the top, and exhale the right arm down. And then we're going to come into mermaid. So I had a dumpling under my bottom there, don't need it now. So come into mermaid legs. So you sit over onto your, I'm going onto my right hip to start. And my right leg's tucked a little bit further back. So it's kind of against my bottom here, my heel, and then my left leg's just sitting on the top. Now, initially you'll feel that you really go over to one side. So try and draw yourself back. Using your side body, try and draw yourself back till you feel a little bit more stacked on top of your hips. If your knees are feeling this, let your legs out a little bit further. Don't bend them quite so much. And you can use your right hand to stabilize you on the side here. So we're going to walk this right hand actually on the floor a little bit further behind us and tuck it out of sight. So open up that right shoulder and tuck your arm behind you. I'm up in my fingertips just because I'm a bit shorter. And we're just going to take a little bit of a twist and look up to the corner here. So we're going to inhale the left arm up. We're going to exhale and rotate. We're going to inhale, lift up and look up towards that top corner and hold. If you want, you can drop that upper arm and let it just come down to the outside of your thighs. But what we're thinking about here is opening up that throat and opening up our eyes and looking up behind us. If you can then maybe allow yourself to twist a little bit more, you can start to look a little bit more over that shoulder. But it's a big twist, to be aware of your neck here, not just about the throat. The neck is quite delicate, so please don't pressurize it. So pushing too much energy through isn't good for us. It's not good energetically, and it does damage our physical body. So never force things. Breathing here, you can feel that openness down through your throat, maybe up under your jaws. So those tight areas there of where your glands often swell up. When there's something wrong with you, often that's an area that swells. So we need to let everything flow through these areas in the body. It's not just the energy center we're thinking about. It's a full channel movement. And then rotate back round, gently soften back to where you were, and sit for a minute, just feeling the resonance. Focus really on your throat here, maybe shut your eyes and feel the energy or what's happening in there. Does it feel more open, more spacious? Does it feel hot? Is there an energy flowing through it that's hot? Certainly, hopefully, you can feel something's happened. Swap legs, come over to the other side in mermaid. So again, we're going to take the left arm behind us by rolling that shoulder back and taking the arm behind us. So it's up on the fingertips for me. And we're going to inhale the right arm up, same thing as you nice and tall and long, rotate, look round to the left, inhale and look up gently to that top corner behind you. Bring that top arm down if you want to, puts in a little bit more of a twist in the shoulders if you want to do that. But we're really just thinking about the throat here. So see how much you can find that length in the front of the throat, moving out of the chest. Open your eyes as wide as you can and see how far you can move them round to look over your shoulder. And breathe, find the breath, find that space for the breath. The breath will breathe for you, but it's quite nice in these positions just to take your attention off what we're doing sometimes. Lets us calm ourselves and soften into the position and release. This is a big stretch first thing in the morning in your throat area. So we're going to move back now. So inhale, take the arm up if it's down. Exhale, rotate back to the front and lower the arm. And then we're coming on to our knees. We're going to need a brick here. Everybody use the brick this time. We're going to pop the brick in front of us. And we're going to come down into Balasana, Child's Pose. So sitting our heels back onto our hips. You'll see this is also warming up your thighs for something in a minute. And then we're going to take our heads down and place our third eye area just gently onto the brick. So quite a heavy old thing, the head. So you might feel quite a lot of pressure here. Keep your elbows under your shoulders if you feel it's very heavy, because we've just worked on your neck. So when you've opened something like that, it's not good to then overexert it and overstretch it. So here, try to contain that area in the back of your neck just a little bit by engaging your shoulders slightly. Not tensing too much, but just letting your shoulders take a little bit of the strain there. And then find your breath. And take 3 breaths, engaging with your third eye chakra, your Anja Chakra, your wisdom center, the center of intuition, of knowledge. The breath is what we use to engage with this energy center. So breathe in through your nostrils, thinking of moving that energy up through that third eye. As you take the breath in, as you exhale, your third eye is helpful in releasing all the stuff that you don't need to know. You don't need to know certain things in life. It's not helpful to have some of that stuff in the head. So use that energy to release through that center. And I've said 3 breaths, but it can be more than 3 breaths. My counting system's not always on. Just enjoy the breath moving through. And then we're going to gently engage your chin and lift your head off of the brick. Pop the brick to the side. We will use it again in a minute. So we're going to come into puppy pose now. This can be quite a strong one. So we start in tabletop. We've got our hips over our knees. Again, you can leave your hips slightly wider here. Sometimes gives you more stability. Not for me, but you could try that. Anyway, then we're going to come down onto our elbows. This is the start of puppy pose. If this is enough for you, that can be fine. Just bring your brick in and pop your brick under your third eye again here. And you're in puppy pose, but you're using your elbows. Your bottom's up and your hips are over your knees. Your tummy's engaged to support your lower back. And everything's pouring downwards towards your third eye. So it is an inversion. It can make you feel a little bit wobbly and dizzy. If you don't like it, go back to the child pose position that we did a second ago. For those of you that want to go a little bit further, pop your third eye area, your head, your forehead, down to the floor. And then stretch your arms slowly, one at a time, out in front of you. So you're still on your forearms, your upper arms are off the floor, but you've moved forward so that there's a big stretch feeling through your armpits. So this very much works on the third eye. All the energy is pouring downwards towards there. If you've got the availability this morning, one way to bring the throat chakra into it is to move your head forward, roll it forward and bring your chin to the floor. So that's quite a crunching thing on the back of the neck. You have to watch that you're not pushing backwards too much in the back of the neck. You have to feel that length in the back of the neck and stretch it out before you place the chin down. And then you're trying to move the heart down to the floor, whether your head's on the floor, whether your head's on the brick, or whether your head, throat, or your chin is on the floor rather. Move your heart down towards the floor. It's not the most delicate of poses, this one. It does feel rather undignified. So you want to do this one and not in public, I would suggest. But it's a really nice heart opener. It's a really nice throat opener if you've got the chin on the floor. It's really good for connecting with the third eye. So engage with whichever energy center you feel most attached to in this position, your heart, your Vishudda throat chakra, or your third eye Anja Chakra. Breathe into that chakra, breathe the energy in, down through you, moving the energy through that chakra center. Bringing either love to your heart in that energy, clarity in your thought, in your voice to the throat chakra, and wisdom to your third eye if you're focusing on that one. Sometimes to use the mantra of the words that goes with the throat chakra, the chakras, like we did at the beginning of the week, does help us to really visualize what we want to bring to that area. Even if you just use the chakras as visual aids, you will find the benefits. Okay, so we're going to move up carefully from this. So whichever position you're in, carefully lift the head up. And we're going to come down onto our bellies. So everybody just move the legs back one at a time and come down onto your bellies. If you need a little rest, put your hands underneath your forehead and just rest your head on your hands. We're going to do Cobra here. So widen your legs a little bit. If you've got any lower back problems, widening the legs will take the pressure off there. Engage the pelvic floor and the pubic bone. Press them gently using your glutes into the floor and lift the tummy, the belly button off the floor. So this really engages already. We've engaged our root and our sacral chakra and our solar plexus chakra. So most positions will use all the energy centers. It's just certain ones seem to have more focus on one or the other. So we're going to move into Cobra now. And it's just gentle Cobra rolls we're taking this morning. So when you're ready on an in-breath, hands, fingertips just on the line with the shoulder blades, elbows really tucked into the side bodies. Engage that little spot between your shoulder blades and draw your shoulders down from your ears before you begin. Engage your chin so that you feel that long back of the neck. You're not looking forward, you're looking downwards at the moment. And then when you're ready with all those engagements, inhale and draw the shoulder blades down the back of the body, rolling open the front of the body. Come up to your first cobra, just very gently. Exhale, roll back down. So we're taking 2 or 3 roll-ups here, just gently mobilizing the spine before we come into holding in cobra. So notice anything that's not feeling quite right that you need to adjust as you move. Maybe you can find you get a little bit more lift each time without having to force. Maybe your engagement on your back of your body is working a little bit better each time you try it. When you feel comfortable, stop at the top of your cobra. You can still take another couple to get there, whichever one you feel is the one you want to stop on, stop. Make sure you've got that nice connection to the lower body to hold you here. Engage your elbows close to the body. And then we're thinking back up to heart, throat, and third eye. So move and open those energy centers by lifting slightly out of your pelvis, rolling the front body open. Maybe you want your eyes open, maybe you want them closed. Whichever you can focus really on these 3 parts. Take another 2 or 3 breaths here if you can. If it's too much for you, then please just come down whenever you're ready. Use the breath to lift you and soften slightly. Feel that rotation almost in those energy centers with the movement of the breath and the movement of your body. And then release and lower back down to the floor, everybody. Pop the hands under the head. Bring the feet closer together so they're hip distance apart. And then we're just going to gently lift your right foot up and bring your heel towards your bottom as much as you can, just to start to mobilize the front of your thigh here. Take your left foot up, do 2 or 3 on either side here, just to stretch out gently through your thigh, into your knee, through your hip flexors. Keep your head down, keep your third eye engaged on that spot on your hands. And then there's a choice here. So the choice is, when you're ready, if you look, we can take seal. So you take your arms wider to the width of the mat, a little bit ahead of you, and you push up like you do in Cobra, and you come up to seal. So again, if you're going to just do that, you can take your legs wider. You can then either come up with your hands, one hand in front of you, not quite as far as that, push up as it's sort of single Cobra side, and it's half bow we're taking. So the heel then comes up to the bottom, you clasp that back foot and you're in half bow. So that's the choice. You can take seal, which is obviously a slightly simpler version. This one's quite strong on the quads. If your quad's not warmed up enough, you will feel it. So please don't take that one if you feel it. If you're in bow, then what you want to do is gently press into the hand and kick the foot back into the other hand, and then look up a little bit further forward. So all of these, we're thinking of throat, possibly the heart comes into it, and also the third eye. So now take whichever position you want to take. So it's either seal with your hands a little bit wider, rolling up and holding. Oop, that's making everything move inside my energy centers. Or you're taking one side in bow. So elbow on the floor to start, hand on the floor, foot in your other hand, and then gently push up to come up to half bow. Pressing the back foot into the back hand, opening up that shoulder, but really thinking about the throat and the third eye area. So open your eyes, really open your eyes. Breathe, everybody. And then lower gently to the floor, everyone. Take a breather. We've obviously got the other side of half bow to come to. So those of you that did seal, you may want to do something slightly different. You can take Sphinx if you'd like to now. And the same thing, you're thinking about opening up your throat But you don't want to crunch the back of your neck, anybody. That's a really important thing to remember, to stretch out the back of your throat, your head, neck. So make sure you're not doing this, because that's opening your throat, but doing your neck no good. So you really want to think of moving up through the crown. So take Sphinx, or if you've already gone into it, the other side of half bow. So remember, half bow, elbow on the floor to start, foot in the hand, and then push up. Think about opening up that throat. Still tucking the chin slightly. Again, you're not throwing the head back. You're lifting up through the crown and opening up through the throat. Opening up your eyes and really finding something to focus on. Engaging with your breath now. And then release gently, everybody, back down to the floor. Face down, have a full body stretch. Really reach out from center, backwards and upwards. Opening up everything that might have just slightly tensioned there. And then release everything back to center. Going to come now into our last pose for these chakras today is restorative fish. So restorative Matseyendrasana. So I'm going to use my bolster, but what you can do is use your bricks. If you don't want to go too high, it's quite, if you're not used to doing this quite often, it can be quite an opening sensation. So I would keep the brick low. It's the brick just at the base of your bra line. And you might want to put something like a soft cushion on it just to soften that. If you want to go a little bit higher and take it sideways, never go on the tall side, but if you feel that you can adjust it to higher, then please do decide yourself. Use the other brick for your head. So place your head down onto the other brick. Again, you might want a cushion on it. If you're used to taking this pose, if it's in your practice regularly, you may be able to drop your head back to the floor, which is very throat opening. But do be aware that isn't great if you haven't got it in your practice normally. You have to build up to that one. So I use my bolster in the same way that I'm asking you to use your brick and cushion. So you really want to find so that you've got that space to open out your shoulder girdle. So you really want to be able to open out the front of your chest as your hands come down to the floor. And your head can either, as I say, come down onto the floor where you're actually almost on your crown. But do be aware of crunching necks, or it can rest on a brick. It's not restorative if you're feeling anything straining and pushing and forcing. So please find an easier version for yourself if something doesn't feel right. Legs can be straight, feet can be on the floor so that your knees are bent, or you can take Supta here. So find yourself in the most comfortable position, in the restorative version of this. I'm not asking you to open and stretch things particularly. They will gently open and stretch. It's not restorative, doesn't really do that so much. So there's a bit of an in-between here between yin and restorative, really. So once you're comfortable, wherever you've got to, find your position, find that ease in that position, and then find your breath. And we'll just scan quickly through our chakras again as we lie here. So chakra, the word means wheel. So in each of these is a little spinning wheel is the idea, and that keeps the energy flowing in us. So although, as I say, as a metaphysical, you can't find them in your body, you can feel the idea of that energy. At each point of these, you can feel a sensation of stuff moving. So at the root, the Mula chakra, at the bottom, I think I call it Muladhara, but anyway, it is the Muladhara chakra. Oh yes, it is. It's the Muladhara chakra, sorry. So the translation of that is Mula means root. And the Dhara part adds a sort of movement in it, a flux. So it's the root of existence, it's translated of this Muladhara, which is your root chakra at the bottom of your torso. You then moved up to our Svadhisthasana. Sva means self, Adhisthasana means established. So this is your sacral chakra, just in your lower abdominal area. And what it translates as where your being is established. So this is all about creativity and reproduction and life. And this is where we are established, or essentially we establish life. Manipura is our solar plexus, which means the city of jewels or lustrous gem. So your solar plexus is just between your navel and your ribs, remember, and it is very much involved with your digestive system physically, but it's about our willpower and self-control emotionally, this center. So often you get butterflies in the tummy, or you get that tightness and stress times when you don't feel confident in yourself. This area is about finding the ability to know your own personality and become confident. Sometimes it's the warrior chakra, remember. So then up from there, we came to the Anahata chakra, your heart. You may be moving your hands with me, or you may not be, it doesn't matter, just lie comfortably otherwise. So Anahata means unhurt, unbeaten, or infinite or boundless. So when this heart chakra works balanced and fully, then it is pure and simply a center of the love we have for self and others. And everything seems right in the world. Vishudda we worked on today, our throat chakra. V means, it's used to emphasize a word, and Shuddhi means pure. So this means especially pure, this area, your throat chakra, which then brings in this idea that it's about how we voice things, not just to others, but in our head to ourselves. If we are truthful, the purity comes into it. The Anja Chakra is, means beyond wisdom. So it can feel a little bit beyond us, this whole idea, but it's very linked physically to our pituitary gland, that area, which in turn is very linked to our body chemistry in general. It's about intuition here. It's much more spiritual. As we come into our head, these chakras become more and more spiritual. But a balance here means you bring yourself inner peace and a deep understanding of why you're here and what the purpose of life is in general. That doesn't need to be a big thing. It just needs to be that you know what you're doing, you know why you're here. And we work with this with with pranayama rather than physically usually. And then your final chakra, your Sahasrara, which means 1,000 petaled. So each is a lotus, and the bottom chakra only has 4 petals, bless them. So the top chakra is 1,000 petals. Obviously, it becomes more important, supposedly, as you come up towards your crown. Each energy center has its standing, but we're also involving this crown area with cosmic consciousness. It's about our connection of our energy to the energy of the universe and everything else that's around us. Not just the universe as a huge big solar system or whatever, it's about other people's energies, the energy of nature, knowing that we're part of a bigger picture. And when you realize that, it brings a fulfillment in life, they say. So that's our chakras. We all have them, we may not know them, we can't see them, but we all realize that essentially we're made of energy. So one last time today, just ask, how is your energy today? In body and in mind, how is your energy today? By asking yourself every morning, how do I feel today physically, How do I feel today emotionally? How do I feel today mentally? You'll learn to get to know these energies better, and by knowing how they are, you'll learn how to balance them. You have all the tools now from yoga through physical practice, so please remember them and try and use them just to bring yourself a happier life. There are also many other ways of harnessing and balancing the chakras: oils, crystals, diet, etc. So if anybody wants them to look into it further, then go to a specialist in chakras, because my limited knowledge is about as much as I give you. But hopefully it's given you a window into something different and another part of yoga. So, having lain here in this position, we need to move slowly out of it. Our throat will be feeling this. It's been very open for a while. Our head might feel a little bit lightheaded. So come out of it slowly. Stretch one leg at a time out of position if you're not long-legged. Lift your head up carefully, using your elbows as support and your chin to support your head. Come back up slowly, and then move the bricks and move over onto your side maybe before you come up to seated to finish class. Ooh, got crunchy. I've got a crunchy shoulder and neck now. I didn't do the class with you properly. So hopefully everybody's energy feels just right for the rest of the day, and looking forward to a nice weekend. Thank you so much for the pop-up, girls. Alison will tell you it does a great deal of help. It gives them a great deal of help, rather, donating the money that we give them. It just means that the charity can work purposefully and help other people. So thank you for this charity donation, for this pop-up, for being with me all through June. I look forward to meeting up with most of you, hopefully in July, on July the 12th, for our Tuesday classes for a little while there. If anybody else can be talked into joining us in Chamonix, then please get in touch with me, or if anybody you know would like to join you, they're happy to come along. Otherwise, thank you so much for being with me. Look after yourselves, do take care, keep making your way to that yoga mat. Don't forget it's in the corner. I'll be there with you still in spirit. So thank you so much, and namaste.